tease.
Okay.
Okay.
We're back once again.
Okay.
We took yesterday off. We took the weekend off.
We took the weekend off.
So it's now Monday morning, and we're still in we're in February 2016, the first day of February.
This is true.
Yes, so it's been a month since we've spoken. So when we left off, you and Dad were helping out at People's Church in Salem, Oregon. So what was the transition? What were the events that led to the move to Los Angeles?
Well, we made visits at holiday time, and I think we made either 2 or 3, I think probably a couple visits down there, and months in between. And Dad talked with the pastor, and
Which pastor is that? What church?
Pardon me, at Westridge.
Oh, okay.
At Westridge.
Stan was there. That was the connection.
Yeah, and Pastor Ken was the pastor, and so he talked to Dad, and he became interested in Dad coming down and moving to Southern California, and where our kids were, and you weren't there.
Okay.
You weren't there, but anyway, to move back to California. So it was several months. It took, I think probably almost a year before it became a settled fact. But we got a letter finally. They corresponded in between time, and so we got a letter that of invitation to come down, and we would become. Dad would become the pastor to the seniors.
Okay.
That was a position.
Similar to the position he had at People's Church.
Yes. So that initiated our move. And so we proceeded, and I think we moved within 3 weeks after we've gotten
that letter.
Yes.
So
I had the big truck, and
so you got the big rental truck, and so Idana, you were living in Idana at the time.
Yes, we moved.
So
down.
did you put Idana on the market at that time, or did you rent it out for a while?
We rented it to a couple that we knew.
Okay,
and
good.
They rented it for a while, and then then finally, while we actually were in Los Angeles, a single man bought it.
Okay.
They had moved out.
Yeah, okay.
And so in the process.
Okay, so you had Idana for quite a while. So that was 1998 was when you moved to...
When we moved down.
Okay. So so that is interesting. That means you had Idana for 60 years? No, that can't be right. 1960, no, 30.
30, no.
See, I went to public school.
Well, yes, Stan had lived in the house some before they moved down to California. So it was.
So it was. I don't know where I came up with that number. That's my brain just froze on me. So so we had that house for quite a while. So you sold that, and you already had a location to move into in LA before you.
Yes. Actually, Melissa and Stan. It was a member of the Westridge Church, and they had moved. They had bought a house, and so they had moved out of the condo. And after the earthquake, remember there had been an the big earthquake, and they had repaired it, and he had put all kinds of amenities in it, like the paneling and the woodwork around the fireplaces. Yeah. And so it was lovely. And I remember Melissa saying her only concern was she remembered that it was a very dark wood, the paneling, and she was worried that my furniture wouldn't fit. But it was just perfect.
Yeah.
It was a perfect.
Yeah, I remember the paneling was and still is a dark paneling there.
Yeah.
And so then Dad started his ministry at the Westridge, and what was it like coming from the Northwest? You've been in the Northwest for so long, coming down to a Southern California weather environment. It had to be,
and it was 100 over 100. I think it was 103 the day we moved in. And
Yeah. Thank God for air conditioning, right?
oh, well, we did have air conditioning, but trips in and out and in and
Yeah.
out, and we had all the doors open. And,
Yeah.
anyway, I knew it was the right move, and your dad knew it was the right move.
That's great. Well, it turned out to be awesome for both
Yes,
of you too.
yes.
So, and having Stan there, and then working with Stan in the church has always been,
Yes.
I'm sure Dad that was awesome for Dad
It was.
and Stan had to be. So he got to spend a lot more time with Dad than I did. And anyway, so you moved into the new condo, and Dad started his new job with West Ridge. What was there anything that you were doing at the time?
Well, yes, I immediately started a women's group on Wednesdays, which actually, ironically, I've kept going. But we took a break.
Yeah.
And
that was West Ridge
and
Women.
I became the receptionist, one of the receptionists too.
At West Ridge. Okay.
So.
So you kept yourself busy as well. So you weren't bored in the new
No, and I was accustomed to working.
Yes.
And it supplemented what Dad got, so that was a good thing.
That's great. That's great. So, and Stan was working there as well. Stan was playing music.
Yes.
So how long did the West Ridge church go? Because I know at some point the pastor left, and then there was some obviously the church did some of the
problems.
church left. Yeah.
Okay.
So how long was that after you went down? Did that
probably? Let's see. We went down in
98?
in July. July 9th was the day we moved.
Oh, okay.
And it was our 50th anniversary right there.
That's right. And didn't you went to Hawaii that year? I think for your anniversary, didn't you? Okay.
I think by the blessing of our children, that we
You have great children.
tell me, but you and Teresa were a big part of that.
Oh, we all chipped in, but
Okay.
yeah, I remember the big party at the Equinox. Wasn't that where we had that? Was that restaurant up on the hill, the Equinox, or what's that called?
Oh, it was. I can't remember.
But that great, and Aunt Shirley and Uncle Ralph showed up, and Gail was there, and it was, yeah, that was a huge party. That was a great party. And so you'd only been in L.A. about 3 weeks when we had that
Yes.
party. Oh, I just totally forgot that.
Yeah, it was our anniversary.
Yeah.
Whether it was right on the day or not,
Yeah.
it didn't matter. And then we took our trip to Hawaii.
Okay, so then you come back. So you still really haven't. Dad really
We
hasn't
haven't
had time
really
to really
settled
get
in.
his job going yet because
No.
you come down, you move in, you have an anniversary, go on a vacation, and then now you're back.
Yes.
And he
yes.
starts the.
Well, that was, I think, all arranged.
I'm sure it was approved.
Before.
Yeah. So how does the? So how long did that Dad's job there last?
It was either, I think it was just almost 2 years, a year and a half maybe. And at that point, there was a core of people who wanted meat. And so Mike Boone, who was a member at that time, had an airplane supply parts, and he had a big warehouse. So, and there was an adjacent room that we met in. And so the core of the people, and they just met, first of all, just as a music group.
Yeah.
And whoever wanted to come, came, and that grew. And so finally, that little room was pretty full. And
I remember that was like the showroom in front of the.
It was the showroom.
In front of the warehouse area.
Yes, yes. And so that's the beginning of Praise Chapel. And then they asked Dad to read a psalm and make a comment. And so.
Well, he took that and ran with it, didn't he?
Yes, yes. But at first it was just a scripture reading, and he made some comments, and then it grew.
Yeah.
And then from there we went to New Life. Mike Boone was very, very. Initially, he put with the Secretary of State, and he established. He knew the ropes.
Yeah.
And so he had his own attorney, and so we were established correctly.
Oh, good.
So that was a good thing. So we moved to New Life, where Stan was the worship leader.
Right.
So, and that was the beginning of Praise Chapel.
And then over the course of the years, you switched from Saturday to Sunday night, Saturday to Sunday night.
Yes.
We always got confused when we were coming down. We didn't know which night of the week it was on, or which night to give you a call, because we didn't know if you were in church or not.
Well, I think we started on Saturday. Well, beginning it was Saturday night,
Yeah.
and then we wanted to try Sunday night because that seemed more appropriate. And then I think briefly they tried to go back to Saturday,
Yeah.
and that's what was confusing to you. But eventually it was ended up to Sunday night.
So, your life in Southern California before Dad was, got ill. What were the things that you two used to like to do when you weren't having church activities? Because you did have some free time. I mean, I know Dad loved to go to Johnny Carson's show.
Well, yes, we did.
Yeah.
And it was always when somebody was there.
Yeah.
And that's the only time that we went,
Yeah.
But we did a few things, special things, and I think Disneyland visits were always when people were there.
Yeah.
And that's the way it was, because Dad wasn't comfortable taking time off. He was let's see, what is it? A workaholic.
A personality. Yeah, he was a type A.
Yes.
Yeah, so, because I was always wondering if you two, I mean, did you have favorite restaurants you like to go to?
Well, yes, in the beginning it was Mimi's.
Yes.
But then that changed over the course of the years.
Yeah.
And there was a particular waiter that had been there since Mimi's opened.
Yeah.
And so he became special to us.
Yeah.
And then he had a new assignment to go open another Mimi's somewhere, I think in the East Coast. So once the heat was gone.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So but one thing about you and Dad, you did enjoy going out.
Yes, we did, and we always went out after
church.
Church.
I remember the nights we'd go out for Mexican food, and
yes.
and even up towards the end, Dad was still like to go to Red Robin and get his
Fish and chips. Yes.
Softly cooked.
And the chefs became so acquainted with him that when we were being seated, they knew, But anyway, those were good years, very good years.
Yeah, and they were great to. We were all in California, and it was easy. It's an easier drive to LA from here than it is to Salem. Mm-hmm. So it was nice having you down there, and we got to spend more time. And then when I was on the road, I spent a lot more time with you guys.
Yes.
Which now I'm thankful for, because I saw you guys
more often,
about once a month for a couple 3 years there. So that was good.
Mm-hmm.
So anything else about those earlier times in Valencia? I mean, you got to see your granddaughters grow up. That was pretty exciting.
That was as much of a growing up time as we were ever close to our grandchildren.
Yeah.
And we that was good. And we were able to babysit them while Stan and Melissa were on a trip or something. And
you're able to make pies down there too, because there was people that got hooked on your pies down there.
Yes. Oh. Yes. That was everybody needs to do one thing well. So.
You're still making pies for people.
Yes, I am.
So after, then after Dad started, his health started failing a little, gradually, but it seemed to. And then you didn't go out that much.
No.
But those were years I remember fondly as well, coming down and walking the door, and Dad would be sitting at the head of the table, in his pajamas or in his yellow shirt.
Yes, yes. And he loved yellow.
That yellow shirt looked great on him too. It was awesome.
Yes, because he had a rosy,
Yeah.
rosy complexion. And
Yeah.
so, yes, he loved that yellow shirt.
Yeah.
It was good.
So, is there any memories, specific memories you have, good memories you have about those final years? I mean, I know you have lots of memories, but some that stick out that are just,
Well,
different than what you would normally think of.
I guess what's embedded in my mind is the good neighbors we had there
Yeah.
in the condo, and we had great neighbors, and they were all they loved Dad, and so when I needed help,
Yeah, they were right there.
they were right there.
Do they still live there, or did they move?
Well, Kevin and Karen were.
Okay.
We had a different a single man first,
Yeah.
and we knew him, but the real help came from
Yeah.
Kevin and Karen, and they were always there.
Right. So, and then you had obviously Stan and Sue were down there a lot to give you
Yes,
help as
yes.
well. I wasn't down there that much. I mean, I really don't know where to go with that. The conversation of Dad's
Hating.
final, Dad's final
Well,
time with us.
but we eventually. Well, one thing I have to say is the doctor. The doctor moved to some distance, and we had to drive over to
I remember that. Yeah.
Sepulveda.
Yeah.
And he was in Valencia, but we started with him, and he was so sensitive to Dad, and he understood him, and he knew him well,
Yeah.
and he knew his physical needs. So we kept him.
Yeah.
We kept him.
Yeah, when you find a doctor that understands you and really understands more than just what you're ailing you, but you as a person, that really has got to be a big help, especially when you're
Yeah.
getting towards the end, like Dad was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But his last visit to the hospital, then I knew I couldn't take care of him at home.
Yeah.
So they put him in, let's see,
It was a care facility.
yeah, care facility, but it was full help.
Right.
And then we were able to, because he was improving, we thought, and so we made arrangements with another, and I think you were down there
Yes,
when we
yeah.
were looking to find
Yeah.
a care, not a full care.
Yeah. Again, it's great that you had Stan and Sue down there at the same there to spend more time helping you, because we did look at one or two that just weren't quite.
Yes.
Yeah. But I think the place that we ended up
Yes.
with was awesome.
It was a beautiful facility.
The people were awesome too.
And they were, yeah, and it didn't take them long because Dad was only there, a month and a
Yeah,
half?
about a month.
About
yeah.
6 or 7 weeks, and they were, they really became attached to him.
Yeah.
I remember the nurse put the big sign up, Pastor Tex.
Yeah, I remember that above the door. They had
Over the door.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or maybe
Or
it
on
was
the
just
door.
text. It was text.
Was that what it was?
Just text. Yeah. Yeah, it was just text. But
Yeah.
anyway, and he was, and he still makes contact with me.
Oh, that's great.
Yes, he does. He texts me and
Oh.
tells me Merry Christmas or Happy New Year. Both of those times he did. And I have his birthday down in my
Yeah.
head, June the 6th. So I'm hoping to be able to make cookies or
Yeah.
something and take them out there.
And we found you and Stan actually found a great place for Dad. And
Oh yes, yes, yes.
So
And
beautiful location up on a hill.
Yes, and
Yeah.
and it was a lovely, lovely facility, and it was beautiful in the dining room,
Yeah.
where we took him, and it was right that he was in a lovely place.
Yeah. And then his final resting place was beautiful as well
Oh.
up there. That was
And the good thing about that was that he was able to go with me. He was still mobile enough
Oh.
to go with me and pick that spot out.
Oh.
And he loved the view.
Yeah.
And so, and I liked the marker. There was a
Yeah.
big marker there,
Yeah,
Liberty Gardens or
Yes.
some such thing, and so I could spot it
Yeah.
before I got up.
Yeah. If you get lost on those little
Yes.
on those little roads that seem to go everywhere.
The roads just turn and twist, and
Yeah.
you don't know which. But anyway, that helped me a lot.
Yeah, that's great. So so now you're on your own, and you're doing great, and you're going to be 90 in a couple months, and you have finally made a move. You want to tell us about your latest move? I mean, it's not. How many months have you been there now? You've been there 6 months.
We moved in. I moved in August the 21st.
2015.
Yes.
Yeah. So
2015.
tell us a little about that place.
Well, the minute I walked in, we had a tour, and I just knew it was right, and I think that we can do that. We can.
Oh, absolutely.
And I had that same feeling that when I first walked into Idana Court, and I knew it was the right move, and and I remember telling Dad at that time, I'm willing to work to make this work,
Yeah.
So anyway, that was my quote. And so anyway, I knew it was the right move, and he had hundreds of books.
Yeah.
Hundreds of
I remember
books.
that day, we just, 2 days, or 3 days I was there, we were just going through the boxes and...
Plus the accumulation of 16 years,
Yeah.
that was the time that we had in the condo.
Yeah, that's...
But there came a time where you couldn't go up the stairs, and so we had and I think you purchased that for me, or for us, the sleeper that Dad had.
Yeah, that would stand him up and then let him lay down.
It would almost bring him up, and then it would be down.
Yeah. So, but you're happy with your new place where you're staying?
Yes, yes.
And so it is now February 2016, and you still have your ladies' meetings on Wednesday.
Yes.
Is there anything else in your schedule other than coming up and visiting us every year? I mean, is there anything else that's kind of a regular part of your...
Well, I do a teaching for Praise Chapel.
Oh, that's right. Praise Chapel is still in effect, once a month or once every 6 weeks?
Sometimes it's twice a month.
Oh, okay.
And in February it's going to be once.
So you've taken over the duties that Dad handed him off to his assistant. Now you've become the big cheese.
Well, not really. Most of them call me Mama Winnie, and a few of them call me Pastor, but I'm still not really comfortable with that.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's good.
So as we look into the future, we see that everything's good. Your health is good. You're happy where you are. You're surrounded by your children and your grandchildren. So it's
and everybody is, like you, Steve, and Sue and Stan. They're all in proximity.
Yeah.
It doesn't take that. Well, you're the furthest
yeah.
away.
It takes me about 5 hours to get to you, unless I fly.
Hours.
Then I have to wait for a rental car. It could still be about 5 hours.
Yes, I know. But San Diego isn't that far away, and then Stan, of course, is close.
Yeah.
And he's been my rock.
Yeah. He's
As
still
you have been, honey.
Well, you're still involved with the church, or he's still involved as well.
Yes.
So as you look back over your life, we have a couple minutes left. Just a general question. What is the best thing that you that you remember in your life as about being a parent or a grandparent? What fulfills you the most as a parent, or what fulfills you the most as a parent or a grandparent? Any particular memories you have that just stand out, that just yeah, I mean, I was going to surprise you with that question at the end, so I made
yes. Well, the privilege of being close to the girls was
exactly
big, and be able to babysit them some.
Yeah.
But I have to just say that the greatest of these, there remains, let's see, what is it? Faith,
hope, and charity.
But the greatest of these is charity, and that's the
That was
love.
the scripture last night at church.
That's true.
Yes.
It's true.
That was the gospel reading last night. So
And the love that binds our family is
Yeah.
significant.
yeah.
And the fact that most, of them have been brought up in knowing God.
Yeah.
So that's just vital to me.
Yeah, you and Dad were a good example of how to live by faith.
Oh, well, I think we moved 7 or 8 times while we were growing up. And so, but...
So do you have any final things you want to say for the video, for prosperity's sake, or anything that you want to pass on to
my children, to my...
great-grandchildren, great-great-grandchildren, whoever sees this down the road?
Okay. Just to have faith in God.
You can point to look at the camera and talk to them.
Okay. Have faith in God and trust, and take one day at a time.
Okay. So that has been the life of Wilma Winifred Rutledge, and I'm sure there's still more to be written, but this is where we are as of February 2016.
Thank you.